Hey, tribe. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late. My daughter fell asleep in my lap and I didn't want to disturb her. I needed to move her to my room. The live tripped out on me when I first pushed it. But we are here now and it is Wednesday and today's live is in the mindset realm. So I'm excited to get started with that. I'm going to see if a couple people hop on here, say hey if you're joining me today, and drop a hashtag replay if you're watching it later today. And then that way I can also see kind of what times people are hopping on. So I might want to adjust this later, and that way I can interact with you guys more in person. But today, yes, we are in the mindset field. I want to start doing spirituality here soon. I kind of did an intro video yesterday, so you'll have to look back and check out that one. But we are going to start talking about spirituality probably next week. So mindset for now. Why do you not follow through with your words and your goals? Okay, so a lot of this comes down to really self-sacrifice. It comes down to sacrificing your current comforts for what you actually want. We actually live in a society that is very we want things right now. We want immediate gratification, right? We don't want to not eat our ice cream. We don't want to get out of bed early in the morning because we would rather get our instant gratification right now with the ice cream, and we would rather stay in our warm, cozy beds, right? And so when it comes down to it, it is the sacrifice that you have to trade, right? Another thing is like with your words, right? You might say like, I'm going to start my fitness journey tomorrow, right? But when tomorrow comes, you don't do anything, right? And why is that? Why are we not following through? And I want to say a couple things about not following through here, right? So if we do not follow through with our words that we said to someone or we said to ourselves internally, we actually start to lack faith in ourselves. We actually start to view ourselves as a liar, and other people start to lose faith in your word. So that's where it's so important to watch really what you're saying, okay, to yourself and to the outside world, because if you aren't going to be committed, which we don't have in our society in general, we don't have commitment. But if you're not going to be committed and you're not going to be dedicated, you're not going to follow through with what you are saying, then it's going to cause problems. It's going to cause problems with yourself mentally. It's going to cause problems with relationships that you have, because you're destroying your honest word. You're destroying your self-faith. Okay. And so I want to throw that in there, why it's so important that you should, if you say something, follow through. Like, you want people to be able to count on you. You want them to be able to hear what you are saying and be like, yeah, she's going to do that, right? Or yeah, he's going to do that. That's what you want, right? And you want to believe in yourself. You want to be like, I said I was going to get on my fitness journey. I said I was going to reach the goal, and that's what's going to happen, right? And so you want to follow through, so not only you maintain faith in yourself, but also people around you that hear you speaking that have faith in you. They don't think of you as an all talk, no walk type of person, right? And another thing is, if you're not really sure if you're going to follow through with your word, just keep it in. Keep it in. You can think it all day long, right? And maybe that will help you gain courage to get there. But don't say you're going to do something if you're not going to follow through with it because of those negative consequences. Just keep it in your brain until you're ready to do it, right? And so, yeah, like I said, self-sacrifice, self-management. That's another thing that comes down to not following through with your words or your goals. Okay, self-management. And what I mean by that is, a lot of people want to complain about not having enough time. I don't have time to go work out. I don't have time to do meal prep. I don't have time to, go on vacation, whatever your goal may be. And a lot of it comes down to self-management, time management, right? So when I say self-management and how that correlates with time management is that If I'm sitting down at the end of the day, and this is why a lot of people feel like they can't build a business too. It's all connected, okay? A lot of, if you're sitting down at the end of the day and you're just binge watching Netflix, or even during the day if you're a stay-at-home mom like I am, okay, and you're binging Netflix or you're scrolling TikTok or Facebook or whatever, you're in a mode of consumption, right? You're not managing your time well. You're not using that time to meal prep or get in a workout while you're watching TV. Like, you could totally do that. Or just get in the workout or go to the gym, right? Or start the business if that's what you want to do, okay? Or work on your budget so you can manage your finances better, right? So all these kind of blend together. Like, when you don't follow through with your goals, it's because you have a lack of self-management. You have a lack of self-discipline, right? So like I said, all these things are wrapped in one package on how they relate to each other. So like I said, you might not want to give up your comfort. You may not want to sit down and do your workout instead of watching Netflix, right? You might not want to get rid of all your junk food in your pantry and out of your fridge and totally out of your realm, so that way you focus on healthy eating, because that is self-discipline. That is, throwing away things to get a better new thing, right? And so we can actually start practicing this with your kids too, if that's something that you're struggling with as a mom. So you obviously can lead the example by making these decisions yourself, right? But you can also start to train your family and your kids with this stuff too. So here's just one thing to throw in here as part of your tool bag, okay? So sit your kid down at a table, and let's say you're gonna give them an M&M or marshmallow, which I highly I don't recommend that. Maybe it's a favorite fruit or something, but something that they really like is what I'm trying to say. And say, hey, here's one M&M, okay? And if you wait an hour before they go and grab it, if you wait an hour, I'll actually give you 2 M&Ms and see what they do. See if they want the immediate gratification or if they have enough discipline to wait that hour, okay? And do that with yourself. This is a tool that you can implement yourself. Okay, so I really want ice cream. I really want to go get ice cream. Have the thought, but don't act on it. And let yourself sit in that or go do something else. Obviously, don't actually sit there and think about it for 20 minutes, but let it pass. Just let it pass. This is why meditation can be such a good tool, right? Because when you meditate, you're learning how to control your thoughts. You're learning how to focus on thoughts that you want and let other thoughts go, which is why meditation is so important. But also, you can do that with your fitness regime too. So when you're in your fitness, instead of listening to music, you can learn how to harness and let go of thoughts, which is usually why I love fitness so much, because it trains the mind. Okay, so self-mastery, self-discipline, learning to get rid of these comforts in order to get the greater things that you want, in order to follow through with your goals and your words, you have to take time to discipline yourself. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say that you want to get up earlier in the morning, right? And your alarm goes off at 5 o'clock, okay? You hate it. You're just wanting to turn that thing off and go right back to sleep. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to move the alarm clock away from your bed, okay? And I want you to have to get up to turn off the alarm clock. So that's going to help you take the first step to get up. Now, from that point, if you can't follow through the rest of the way, whatever that next goal was for the day, most likely you're going to be able to. But if you can't continue on to the next action, fine, get back in bed. But then the next day, I want you to get up, turn off the alarm clock again, and then make another move. So then go start your coffee. And at some point, you're just going to keep rolling throughout your day because it's going to be silly to get back in bed. Okay, so these are the small steps to get more discipline and to follow through with your word. Okay, another thing is a thing I like to keep in my head. If I can't run, I can at least walk. If I can't walk, I can at least crawl, right? Like, take the first step and then start compounding them together, right? Start linking them together to make better decisions to help you get more disciplined, okay? Make the morning routine. Write it down. That's another thing you need to do, is write it down. You cannot create new habits, new disciplines, get self-mastery, do any of these goals or follow your words without writing something freaking down. How are you going to remain consistent if you don't even know what your goal was? And how are you even going to get there? So write down what your goal is. What is my end goal? How do I get there? What steps do I need to take? Think a plan out and then take the first step. Whether, moving the alarm clock, okay? Like, that's the first step. So the reason I want to bring this up is because I find, that a lot of people just tell me that they lack the discipline. They really do. They can't, even when I provide them with a home workout. And these are usually the people that do the subscription. I mean, to be honest, like the lower in pricing, because they're a bigger price is more commitment, and you want to follow through because you paid bigger money, which is why I charge what I do. But what I'm saying is that they have problems even getting in a workout when we make it so very simple to just do it in your home, right? And the reason why is because they don't even have the discipline to put the phone down when they're scrolling through Facebook to do a short workout. And our society's programs like that. It's not necessarily like you, even though you should overcome that, but it's just created an addictive dopamine type of society where we've lost literally everything. We've lost our discipline, we've lost our worth ethic, we've lost our our will to try hard to overcome obstacles. Like, a lot of us quit when it gets hard, right? And we don't want to do that. We have to maintain the discipline even when it gets hard. Even when, like, this comes back to like going to a job, right? Which I don't do because I can't work under people, to be honest, which is fine. Like, I like to run my own things, but I'm disciplined enough to do it. And you can become that way too. So what I was going to say is, like, when you go to a job, you have to remain disciplined, right? You can't just not show up, like you get fired. So just like self-discipline in order to run a business, or in order to get a really fit body, or in order to eat really freaking healthy, then you have to remain disciplined. So even when it freaking sucks, like, because I've had ups and downs this whole entire time, there's been days where I don't want to get out of bed, or I don't want to post the article, or I don't want to go to the fitness. Like, it's in all of us. Like, you're not different. We all have the same struggles and variations. Okay? So when I feel like that, guess what I do? Go anyways. I do it anyways. Like, even if it sucks, even if I don't have the best mental attitude about it, even if I don't have the motivation, I have made it a discipline. So you need to figure out where your priorities are and watch what you're saying, right? What are your priorities? Write it down. Like, what do I want to change in my life? What kind of goal would I like to achieve? And why? Like, what's your why? Is it an external motivator? Because if it's an external motivator, it's not really going to get you very far. But if you can have an internal motivation, like yourself or something bigger than you, which I recommend, going way bigger than you. Okay, this isn't just about me. This is about my kids. This is about my family. This is about the world. And this is about God. Okay, I got external motivators as in that sense, but it's internal, because if I don't do something about it, nothing changes. Okay, so have a why. Write down your why. Get a journal. Write it down. What do you want to be disciplined in? How are you going to do that? What first steps are you going to take in the morning? And when you wake up in the morning, or whatever this thing is that you need to do, just do the first move. When you show up to the gym, like, some people don't even want to go to the gym, right? Get to the gym. Okay, just drive there. And then you will go in and you will do your workout. And it may not be the best workout in the world, but you'll get it done. So you just have to take the first steps, and then it snowballs after that. You will want to do it. Who wants to drive all the way to the gym and be like, yeah, I came here, I'm going to head back home? Like, no one's going to do that for the most part. I mean, maybe somebody. But for the most part, you're going to go in after that. Who's going to start doing their sit-ups and push-ups and regret it after they get it done at home? No one. You can watch TV doing that. So, like, the excuses got to leave, right? You can't sulk in the victim mentality. No one's going to do it for you, right? No one's going to hold your hand. And that's why sometimes I think it's silly like that. And I understand that some people need someone to come and show them what to do. Like, I get that. I totally understand that. When I first went to the gym, I had no idea what the heck I was doing, okay? But we can't always have someone there to hold your hand, because sometimes someone's not there to hold your hand in person. So you have to do something. You have to go on the walk. You have to throw away the cake that you keep eating on in the fridge, okay? You have to move the alarm clock. That's you. No one can do that for you. You see what I'm saying? So the way that you can follow through with your words and with your goals and stop putting yourself in a place of lack of faith, like where you have no faith for not only yourself, but it starts to reflect outward, right? Is that you have to follow through with yourself. Don't say it unless you're going to do it. And then when you say it, make the first move so that way it snowballs, okay? Let me check my notes, because I made notes, but I never actually do the notes, right? I just basically set up my mind and then go from there. Yeah, so walk the walk, stop talking. Eat the frog. So that's another thing. Like, when you start your day, your willpower by the end of the day is gone. Most people cannot have full willpower throughout the whole day. It usually decreases throughout the day. So I like to tell people to eat the frog. The first thing you do not want to do it first. Okay, so you didn't want to get out of bed. You got out of bed. What's the very first task that you also don't want to do? Okay, is it folding laundry that you never do? Is it going to the gym because you never do that? What is it? Is it eating a healthy breakfast? What is it for you? Leave something in the comments. What is the frog for you? Okay, because I want to know what the frog is for you. And whatever that frog is for you, that's the first thing you do for the day, because then your day is set up for success. You already did the thing that you freaking hated to do, and you're already on the success track. Now that is going to snowball into other things, because you're going to feel freaking awesome for doing that, right? You won. You ate the frog. And so that is going to lead on to the next day, okay? Let's see what else I got here, just in case I don't want to miss anything out. So, going back, if you don't follow through with your words and your goals, what's that going to look like? What's that going to look like in the future for you? Okay, so really think about this. Write this down for you. What is it going to look like in the future if you don't follow through with the goals that you wanted? Are you going to have more health issues? Are you going to gain more weight? Are you going to be in the doctor's office a lot more? Are you going to start developing mental and emotional issues because your gut is totally out of whack and you're emotionally eating and things like that? Is that what's going to manifest after time of not following through? Are your relationships going to be bad? The way that your children grow up, is that going to suck? Are they not really going to turn out to be the people that you want them to be at the end of the day? Financial problems. Are you going to have financial problems because you couldn't be disciplined enough to not go buy the material stuff that you don't necessarily need, but you're filling a void maybe inside, right? What else? Basically all these things are going to start compounding together, right? These things are all connected. So it really is important that you do start following through with your word and with your goals, because you have these inner wants inside for a reason. There's some reason that they're in there, and you know the reason. If you sat down and you journaled it out, you could figure out exactly why you're feeling, guilt about not going to the gym, or why you feel like you lack time. Okay, if you journaled it out, you could figure it out. Okay, which is why I highly encourage journaling and vision boards. Okay, so, really think about this. It all comes down, guys, to self-discipline, to self-management, right? You got to be able to be okay with failing and rebuilding. You got to be okay with people hating on you and switching your peer group. And that's part of it. That's that self-discipline and that self-sacrifice. That's the sacrificing part. You will make new friends eventually, right? You will feel better eventually. You're gonna fail occasionally. Like, there's been so many times where I've gotten so good at stuff, and then either I had a small tweak in my back or something, and I couldn't do certain overhead movements because I was, dumb, with the weights. That's just me. But, things like that, you're going to have setbacks. You're going to have times where you fail in business. Like I ran a juice bar in Kokomo and totally bombed that at the end. And you want to know why? Because I didn't have discipline with finances. Okay. And to be honest, I didn't like to be stuck inside either. So there was a couple things there. But you're going to fail and you're going to have to rebuild and you're going to have to navigate things as you go in this journal or in this journey. Okay. It's not going to be a peak forever. You're going to have peak and valleys, and be okay with that. Be okay with that. But if you can build a foundation, if you can believe in yourself and you can start making the small decisions, like making your bed and getting up in the morning and having a morning routine, if you can build a good foundation, then you can do anything you want. You can achieve any goal that you want. It doesn't matter what it is, because you know that you're capable, and you know that as long as you have the discipline for these things, that they will happen for you. But you have to remain disciplined. You have to put in the work on these things. And we're missing so much of that in just daily society. You have to shift and be different. And being different is hard. It is. It really is hard. You're not going to have as many friends. You're going to feel a little disconnected at times, right? Until you figure it out, and then you find your friend group and you find what you're actually passionate about and what works for you, right? It's always going to shift and change. So yeah, so I just want to encourage you guys to be brave. Like, be brave and sacrifice some comforts for the things that you really want. I do it on a daily basis. I like pizza, okay? I love pizza. I like lasagna. I'm a sugar addict, honestly. I cannot have sugar in my house. I have no willpower with sugar. And I have to recognize those things about myself, and I sacrifice things so I don't overconsume sugar. And when I go places and there's pasta, I just don't eat it, or lasagna or whatever. I just don't eat it. Like, you just make sacrifices in order to get where you want, because I know where my long-term goal is. With finances, like, I really want to go buy some really awesome clothes, right? I really do. Like, I've actually been thinking about it a lot recently, but I just don't go. I know that it'll go away. I don't really need the clothes. I know that, we possibly have a move coming up. I know that I want to go back to Costa Rica. I know that my house needs a little bit more work. Like, I know that I have bigger goals, so I just don't do it. And so that is a sacrifice to me. I don't get to have the clothes that I want, right? Which, whatever, who cares? I don't go to parties. Like, I don't go hang out and drink a bunch of booze or whatever. I don't do that because I know that I'm going to feel like crap and my workouts are going to suck. And it's not healthy for me. It's going to ruin my gut health. So that's another sacrifice. I wake up most of the time at 5 o'clock in the morning, so that way I can have a morning routine. So I can be up before the kids, so I can pray, so I can work on my business. Some nights I stay up super late so I can work on my business. Like, there's all kinds of sacrifice, but you have to be willing to do that. Like, what's the sacrifice for you? Is it worth it? And I tell my clients that, like, some people, like, especially women, they have a little bit more belly left, right? Because of hormones, their age, like that. And I'm like, man, like, what do you want to sacrifice? Because, I can look like Danny Spiegel. I was just telling a client a client about this the other day. I can look like Danny Spiegel if I really want. Like, I could, but I would have to eat all the freaking time. Like, I would have to eat all the time. And when I eat all the time, I mentally do not feel good. I do not feel good. And so that's not the sacrifice that I want. I would rather feel mentally better and productive with business and stuff instead of having to constantly feed my body so that way I could look like Danny Spiegel. And for her, it was getting rid of the body fat, the belly fat. I'm like, what do you want to sacrifice? Because you're going to have to sacrifice some more food. Like, you're going to have to you're going to have to fast in a way that gets rid of belly fat until it's gone, and then you can rev your food back up. Like, there's sacrifices, there are gives and takes. So keep that in mind when you're making your goals. Is it actually what you want? Because if it's not what you actually want, you're not going to work for it anyways. So really think about what you want. Be realistic about these goals. What are you going to have to sacrifice? What kind of steps are you going to have to take to get there? And is it actually worth that, or is it not? And And also, are you getting these goals and ideas from someone outside of you, or is that actually your goals and ideas and your why? So hopefully this video was helpful for you. If it was, drop a GIF that's funny in the comments, because I love looking at those. And I hope that you guys have an awesome week, and I can't wait to talk about spirituality, because that's totally shifting for me, and it's going to be a really fun healing aspect tool for you guys. So I will check you guys later, and have a great weekend.